America works together when Mother Nature threatens to attack the citizens of the Midwest. During the 1930s, a huge cloud of dust came in and threatened to destroy the center of this nation. This threatened to happen again in the 1950s, but one thing stood in its way: the efforts of conservation. The whole entire story of the Dust Bowl starts back in the 1920s. During this time, there was a great wet season and there was a war in Europe. For this reason, farmers were indulged to go to the Midwest and grow wheat. Well, wheat prices were up and farmers were making a lot of money. However, this led to a great land boom, turning 5.2 million acres of grassland into wheatland. This caused the high wheat prices to go down in a hurry. Moving on into the 30s, they had a lot of things working against them. The major one was that the Depression was during this time. Because the government was running out of money, they also didn't have money to put into the conservation efforts to prevent and stop what was happening during this time. In 1935 alone, 350 million tons of soil were blown away. Farmers and ranchers would walk out into their pastures and they would see mounds of dust where we see piles of snow. The government, towards the end of the 1930s, decided that Mother Nature was not going to be able to stop what she started alone. So when they decided to intervene, they sent out the Civilian Conservation Corps, or the CCC. These people were sent out to help figure out what could be done and what needed to be done to change and make the Dust Bowl stop. They started with different techniques, and the government decided to purchase the farmland that farmers who could not live on it anymore had been forced to abandon. All of this ended with another very nice wet season with bountiful crops. The harvests were amazing. However, there was also another war in Europe that wagered on the economy. Harvests, like I said, were great, and wheat prices just went back up. However, this good fortune did not last long. During the filthy 50s, or the 1950s, another Dust Bowl threatened to attack. But this time, the government was prepared. We had found underground aquifers which made techniques such as irrigation possible. We also implemented terracing, and all of that farmland that I'd mentioned before, where they had purchased it, was now turned into the national grassland, so not as much land had been overfarmed. Programs put in place, such as the Conservation Reserve Program, made sure that the farmland that was being farmed did not get overfarmed. And the Grassland Reserve Program was put in place to make sure that grazing land was used for just that, as grazing land. We are more prepared today than I think we have ever been if another thing such as the Dust Bowl were to arise. And this is how I believe our efforts of conservation that we are using today are helping us prepare from another devastation like the Dust Bowl tomorrow. Thank you.